Leo Levine was a working newspaperman and author until he became Mercedes-Benz of North America's longest-serving public relations director in early 1969. He spent 20 years with MBNA. Leo was born and raised in New Rochelle, New York. Here he began his writing career as the sixth-grade newspaper editor. This passion for writing did not stop here, but continued throughout high school. Leo attended Syracuse University, where he majored in lunch and minored in lacrosse. Leo graduated Syracuse in 1951 and joined the Army. While active, Leo learned how to direct artillery fire, was in both VCOM and UCOM, and after spending time active, became the editor of the 1st Infantry Division newspaper, which led him to the European edition of Stars and Stripes. Leo returned home in 1954, but soon realized he wanted to go back to Europe and rejoined the Stars and Stripes team as a civilian in 1956, and was also introduced to a new passion: racing. Leo's first race car was an Austin Healey, which he took to race driver school in Italy, where he learned, among other things, why the British auto industry was going straight downhill. Soon, the Healey was switched for a Porsche 1600 Speedster, and finally to a GT Carrera Speedster with a super engine, the first of only 7 ever built. It led to wins in Germany, France, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Then it led to a factory drive in the 1959 1,000 kilometers of Nürburgring, sharing a Porsche prototype alongside Pedro Rodriguez.
In 1959, I was fortunate enough, I was driving the Super 90 prototype for Porsche at the 1,000 kilometers of the Nürburgring, doing very well, and all of a sudden I was looking in the mirror and Sterling came up behind me in an Aston Martin, which he was driving, and I had to make a quick decision. Do I let him pass before this curve or after? And in the half a second it took to decide what I was going to do, he went around me on the outside, turned around and said, "Thank you," kept going.
Leo was first married in the fall of 1959, but racing and marriage didn't mix. The first marriage went the way of the race car, traded in, so to speak, for a 300 SL, which he used as his daily ride until the spring of 1963, when he went back to his original passion of writing. Leo joined the New York Herald Tribune. Unfortunately, the Tribune folded in the spring of 1966, and Leo turned his focus to writing the first volume of the Ford Motor Company's racing history, Ford, The Dust and the Glory. Before he could start on another book, he was contacted by Mercedes-Benz USA, Mercedes-Benz North America at the time, and went over to what he calls the dark side in 1969. Known for his determined personality and direct approach, Leo wasn't shy about reinforcing his high expectations for the brand. There's one infamous story that many at Car and Driver still reminisce about to this day.
Set the Wayback Machine for 1986. I was the editor of Car and Driver when a very interesting Mercedes came our way, the very first small Benz with a hot engine, the 190E 2.3 16. We're quite excited to get that car. The very last day we had the loan of the car, we still had a lot of work left to do. So a junior editor and I took it out to slide a few entrance ramps. Unfortunately, slid off the ramp into another car, smashed the left side of the car. My job was to call Leo Levine and beg for forgiveness and a replacement car very quickly. Leo was not very happy, but he was a gentleman ultimately and forked over a fresh test car. The next step, though, was I was summoned to Leo's office in New Jersey for a face-to-face confrontation. Chubba Chetta came in with me. We came to see what he had to say. What he had to say was that Mercedes-Benz North America attorneys had told him that giving any more test cars to Car and Driver would be criminally negligent. I found that rather shocking news. He followed it up with the advisory that Car and Driver had damaged more test cars than any other client that he serviced in Mercedes' PR department. My response to that assertion was, "Okay, Leo, that's interesting, but who's second on the list?"
I called him in, and I had one of our lawyers sit over there, and I didn't introduce him to anyone. I said, you just take a yellow pad and write a lot. Don't look up. And I told them, I explained that it's like the bartender's law. If you get drunk and the bartender keeps serving you and you go out and get in an accident, he's liable. And I explained that to them, and I said, and when you guys go to jail, I'm not going with you.
Additionally, Leo brought Mercedes-Benz to Pebble Beach in the late 1970s, becoming the first commercial sponsor of the concourse. Leo went on to continue an extremely impressive career. Currently, Leo writes for the New York Times, where he specializes in motorsports and collectible cars. It is this constant commitment, his love of cars, and high regard for Mercedes-Benz that gives us great pleasure and honor to present the 2013 Mercedes-Benz Star Driver Award to Mr. Leo Levine.